I'd like to call this meeting of the Public Schools of Robeson County Board of Education to order on March 4th, 2024. Let me say a blessing. Dear Heavenly Father, just lead, guide, and direct us. Thank you for your mercy, grace, and love. Dear Heavenly Father, just thank you for the doors you've opened, dear Heavenly Father, and just help us through. We ask this in Jesus Christ's holy name. Amen. I need a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. I've got a motion by Mr. Henry Brewer to adopt the agenda. I have a second by Mr. Gentry. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Adoption of the agenda is passed. I'm going to say we do have two board members on virtual, Mr. Craig Lowry and Ms. Melissa Ocean. And information, Senator Danny Britt, which represents Hope, Robeson, and Scotland, District 24. It's on you to go to the podium.
Representative Britt, I think you're going to need a bigger check for your announcements.
I think so too.
I think so too.
So with me is State Superintendent Catherine Truitt. I just wanted to let you know that Robeson County has recently been awarded an additional $12 million under the needs-based construction fund funding. This again will help to build what will be a $72 million building for Robeson County. So,
This is very good news and would not be possible without a few people here. First of all, the legislature for creating the capital needs-based grants, because they recognize that there are many districts in our state, many counties, who need a little help from the state to make sure that students have a safe, bright, shiny place to school every day, and teachers have the best possible facility in which to teach. But also the advocacy of people like Dr. Freddie Williamson, who's been blowing up my phone for the past several months, making sure that y'all got this additional $12 million. This is going to make it possible for you all to continue your work. And what I'm really excited about is that you all are building a facility that is going to help our students be able to get jobs in the future and to really become a shining light within their community. So thank you both so much. And we just couldn't be happier to make this happen.
May I ask the board members to come and get a picture?
They are not equal. I'm going to keep on playing.
I'd just like to say on we good? I'd just like to say every Monday morning, it's not that Robeson County Public Schools gets a $12 million check. This board is appreciative. The Public Schools of Robeson County is appreciative. Dr. Williamson, Senator Britt, we thank you for advocating for us. State Superintendent Truitt, thank you. And keep making those phone calls, Dr. Williamson. And he's doing a good job.
Well, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. Good morning to everyone. What a great day. What a great Monday. And let me start by saying thank you to our state superintendent, one, for your leadership, two, for your support of public schools and the Public School Capital Fund. Also for your belief in CTE. You've been clear that there's not dual curriculum, there's one, it's all core. And then what a great way to support my future NC. Those jobs that will be available in the future, this school will certainly help with that, credentials, certifications, all those issues. We'll serve 1,000 kids in this facility. Isn't that amazing? That is amazing. But Senator Britt, thank you for your champion this cause for us. You stayed in touch with me, and so we appreciate that. This day is possible because you know you're doing your job for us, and you're doing an outstanding job in our support. So thank you so much. I see Mr. Aaron Thomas here. Aaron, come up and tell us where we are with that building and how soon we'll see construction starting, please.
Good morning, everybody. So currently, if you've been by the site, site work has been in progress for a number of months, and the building pad is complete. And so now we will be the plans for the actual building will be ready to bid this month in March. And once those bids come back, we'll bring those bids back to you, and that's the bids from all of the trade contractors. And we'll be ready to go to GMP and get started with actually building the building. So everything's going really well, and I appreciate the support of the board. It's going to be an amazing project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
This time, let me ask Mr. Herman Locke, we're our director, executive director of CTE. If you come up and give us a little more detail about this new facility, which also will house our planetarium and science center. So we're excited about that. Herman?
Okay, talking about being put on the spot, but that's okay. He can do that. He's the boss. So a little bit about the facility is that we currently have a operating career center now, but we will be moving all our programs from that facility to the new facility, which includes our construction academy, which is masonry, electrical, plumbing, and carpentry. So we've got those four that create an academy. We have several different computer courses. We have a network engineering, we have computer engineering, and they're working in, I guess, together to make the pathway for cybersecurity. We have Adobe, which is a more graphics design program, and we have an excellent engineering program. That engineering program is a CAD. They get a certification in a CAD. They get a certification in Revit and in Inventor, which are major industry credentials. And of course, the other courses get credentials also, but those are really, really major. In addition to that, we have an excellent welding program and automotive. One thing this facility will allow us to do is to greatly increase those students that are able to take welding. Right now, we operate with 8 welding booths. Welding is one of the largest groups of students that want to come to our program, but we can't house them because we only have 8 welding booths. This facility will allow us to have 20 welding booths. And of course, Dr. Williamson is going to make it happen for us to be able to have another welding instructor, I'm sure. Put him on the spot. So that way we can house more students in that welding program. In addition to those programs, we also have EMT currently at the Career Center. In addition to those programs, we're going to be adding a full culinary program, state of the art. We also will add a drone program, which is just amazing because, you know, Amazon's looking at housing those blimp warehouses so that they can just fly over, take a drone and drop it down in your front yard. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, I would have never dreamed of that 20 years ago, but today it's becoming reality. And also we are going to be having a mechatronics program, which will help industry drastically, because one of the biggest things when we meet with our industry partners, they can't find enough technical workers to keep their machines operating and to keep them flowing in case of a breakdown. And that's what we want to do, is we want to supply that pipeline of workers for them. One thing that I'm really, really excited about is we will have space. We have 4 classrooms that will be industry classrooms. Those classrooms will be for industry to come in and do what we're referring to as a reverse internship. It's the first program in the state, probably on the East Coast. No one had ever heard of it. I'm working with a group out of Research Triangle to help us make that happen. And what that looks like is an industry can come in, set up in this room and in this space, something about this size, and they can do an internship with those senior students who have followed that pathway. For example, the hospital needs surgical techs. They can't find enough surgical techs. So they can come in and take students out of our health science program, set up in that classroom, and they can train those surgical techs, get their certification, and they can immediately go into work at the hospital. In addition to that, a hospital will pay for their education that they need after that. Can't beat it. It's a win-win for everybody. For the student, they won't have a college debt being held over their head. For the hospital, they get the workers that they need. And it's for us, we get to help students in a pathway and supply the pipeline of workers for our community in our area. So, and we're going to have 4 rooms like that. I mean, that's amazing. And the beauty about that is that they don't have to stay on our campus year after year after year. If they've supplied their need, then we can move them out and move somebody else in. It's ever revolving. And that's going to be a game changer, not just for Robeson County, but that's going to be a game changer, because I believe, strongly believe, that once this happens, there will be places all over North Carolina and probably the United States that will say, hey, we want to have a reverse internship program, because we have a problem with transportation, getting our students out to these sites to do internships. And then the sites have an insurance policy that says that they need to be 18. And if they're going to wait till they're 18, it's too late. Thank you.
Share with the group the work that we're doing at the elementary level and the middle school level in preparation. And then I'm going to ask State Superintendent Truitt to come back and talk about the partnerships with community colleges that we talked about on Friday. Thank you.
So at the elementary level right now, we are working really hard with 5th and 6th grade to try to get them into these pathways. We are currently offering to all 6th grade students, they will take in a coding class, which is computer science discovery class, and they'll be able to move right into some of these other computer programs as we move forward. The state has deemed that every 7th grader, starting next year, every 7th grader is required to have a career development plan in place. In addition to that, they will have to have their plan reviewed in 10th grade to make sure those students are on track to find some pathway that they're passionate about. So we're looking at just creating lots of career development in the early age and then getting those students prepared, because a lot of kids have no clue when they graduate what they want to become. They go to college, they get a college degree and find out they can't do anything with it. Number one graduate school in North Carolina is Wake Tech, because students who graduate college can't find a job with their degree. Then they have to go back to a technical school and get a degree in order to get a successful job. Number 1, Wake Tech. So what we want to do is get those students on that path for that degree and that certification before they ever get into high school. We're going to be doing a showcase of CTE programs later in April for all 6th graders. approximately 2,000 sixth graders. We're going to bring them through, and they'll be engaged in hands-on activities. It's a 2-day event because of the number of students, but they will be able to start making their decision right then before they have to have that career development plan next year. So I have several slogans. One of my favorite slogans is, you can't be what you can't see. If you've never seen an engineer, you're still stuck in the mindset of, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be a teacher, because they've seen that. But if they've never seen an engineer and what an engineer does, they have no clue that they can become an engineer. So we want to show them, here's the possibilities that you can be. And then, of course, getting into the credentials, and we're increasing our credentialing numbers time after time each year. We're increasing that because, and don't get offended, 4-year degree folks, don't get offended about what I'm going to say. There's a big difference in a 4-year degree and a credential. A 4-year degree says you had the potential to do something. A credential says that you can do whatever that credential says you can do. So, because those students actually are involved and they complete hands-on activities in order to obtain those credentials. They've done the work. So think about it. That's what industry's looking at. They're looking at those credentials, and that these students are able to do it because they had to do it to be credentialed.
Thank you, Mr. Harmon.
Well, that was very well stated, and I want to follow up with some data that really backs up everything that you've just heard. Who would have thought that it would be Robeson County who was leading the state in innovative ways to get kids educated across the finish line at graduation and then into a career? I'm not surprised at all, because I've known for a while now what you all have planned. But let me explain to you why it's so critical that this CTE high school is being built. So for the past 20 years in this country, we've had a narrative of college for all. And that's a great narrative, because we want all kids to be able to try for a 4-year residential college experience if that's what they want. But when we look at the data, what we see is that only 23% of kids in North Carolina get a 4-year degree by the time they're 24 years old. A quarter of kids. So we also know that only 30% of kids in North Carolina get any training and education beyond high school that involves a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, or even a credential of value by the time they're 24 years old. So what about the other 70% of kids? And at the same time, we just presented to the legislature our annual statewide attainment credentialing report that shows that the number of credentials that kids are earning in high school is at an all-time high in North Carolina. And yet, we've got this 70% of kids who are not doing anything before they're 30 years old that would get them a family sustaining wage. And so this is why it is critical that we change the narrative about the value of credentials, the value of workforce, that all work is dignified, and we have to start doing that before high school, as Dr. Williamson said. It has to start with career exploration in elementary school, continue into middle school. We've got the career development plans and legislation now, so that by the time a child is in high school, they're going to look at that plan alongside their parent or guardian, and they are going to have a plan for what happens when they graduate from high school. And that plan will have included all of the incredible career and technical education certs that kids can earn when they're still in school. And let's be clear, the data does show that if you get a certain kinds of 4-year degrees, that you will earn more over your lifetime than someone without a 4-year degree. But that's only true in a couple of degrees. It's not true for other kinds of degrees. And while 72% of kids in high school say that they intend to go to college, Again, only 23% actually get a degree by the time they're 24 years old. So this is about expanding K-12 education for all students so that all students can escape their circumstances through public education. So we are really excited that not only we're making this happen in our elementary schools, but Danny Britt here tells me that they've got $23 million appropriated in the budget for the community college, for Robeson Community College, that will allow for kids to finish at the skills school and go straight into community college and then the workforce. That is the kind of pathway that Robeson County needs to ensure that all kids are educated to their fullest potential. It's that kind of forward thinking that I totally agree with you. Robeson County will be on the map and will be a model for other districts. And that is so exciting to think that you all are going to be paving the way for what other districts can do, especially in rural communities, to ensure that all kids graduate college and career ready. So thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Williamson, for letting me say a few words. Thank you again to the legislature. We're so excited for you, and I can't wait to be there for the groundbreaking. Thank you.
So let me ask our Chief Finance Officer, Ms. Erica, if you'll come, and the total value of this need-based grant, original grant, and this supplement. Share that, or the impact of that.
Good morning, everyone. And again, let me echo thank yous to everyone as we continue to move forward with this project. We initially started with $40 million, and there was a match from our county, a $2.5 million match from the County of Robeson, 2.5 from the Public Schools of Robeson County, and from Senator Britt and the legislatures, a $5 million, I call it SCIFFy grant, dedicated towards our planetarium and science center. And that got us very close to the $60 million, and this additional 12 brings the total to, as indicated earlier, the $72 million. So it's a full collaboration of everyone involved and a lot of different funding to get us where we are today. And we are certainly appreciative, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Erica.
Any other comments from the board member? Again, thank you to everybody, for board members, for your vision of what could be, can be, and will be for Robeson County and the impact. We're having a conversation this morning about economic development, economic impact now and for the future in Robeson County. That's what this conversation is about. Any other board member?
Anyone have any questions or concerns? Mr. Brown?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to say a great thank you to Senator Britt. He has worked tirelessly for Robeson County schools in the county. And also, Ms. Truitt, we thank you for working in partnership with Senator Britt. And I'm just excited about seeing what's going to happen in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. Anyone else?
Mr. Lawson?
Go ahead, Mr. Craig.
Thank you. Wished I was there this morning, but had a family obligation, a commitment we had made. But again, I just want to, without calling names, thank everyone that's had a part to do with this. And I'm like everybody else. I'm looking forward to the school being there and just what it's going to do for our kids. But thank you, Superintendent Truitt and Senator Britt. We appreciate all your efforts, and Dr. Williamson for your leadership. But again, thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Craig. Anyone else? Mr. Gentry?
Chairman Lawson, I had the great privilege of being the principal at the Career Center some years ago, and it was going full tilt at that time. Mr. Herman's leadership was in place at that time, and he among others were leading the Career Center in the right direction. And I just can't say enough about the skill of our instructors at the Career Center that do a more than any of us can imagine, really, with sometimes very little. And times back then, as Herman knows, that was often the case. And many of them are still there, which indicates their willingness, their determination, their devotion to our students. And if you talk to any of them, their profession is second, the students are first. And I was privileged to be a part of that, and now to be able to witness and from a different perspective to be able to be a part and maybe helping to make this come to fruition in the near future. Appreciate all that everyone has done, and great appreciation. Thank you.
Just like to say that this whole concept began as a dream. Never thought it would become a vision. Then it moved into a vision, and now today it's a reality. And we're so thankful to everyone who had a part to do with this. I'm glad that hopefully I'll be around and walk in the doors of this dream. Thank you.
Anyone else? I'd just like to say I am a Lowe's Home Improvement employee. I deal with this every day. People calling, wanting to know who's an electrician, who's a brick mason, who's whatever in construction. And I see and hear it every day, and to be a part of it and seeing it come to fruition after 12 years of sitting on this board, I'm very appreciative of it and see the dream that Dr. Manuel was talking about that was set forth, and for it, to come to fruition. And I'm sure Mr. Thomas, finding people to do these jobs is getting harder and harder. But I would like to say thank you, Senator Britt, Superintendent Truitt, Dr. Williamson, for your leadership again, and this board for staying focused on this endeavor, and that this $12 million will go to complete it, and it'll be a success, not only for North Carolina, but for the public schools of Robeson County. So thank you all. Thank you for being here. I need a motion to, I've got Mr. Vontae Leach with a motion to adjourn. I've got Mr. Henry Brewer with a second. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you for being here.